Ladies, gamers, and gentlemen, welcome to another Bill Noir's StarCraft 2 cast YouTube video. This time we are going to be casting a game between Smile and Happy. This is going to be a TVZ, and I expect this to be a very good one. Let's jump in. The map is going to be Neoplanet S. This game was taken from Ladder on the European servers. Although it is pre-patch right now, the Neoplanet S map is no longer in the current map pool. Depending on when you are watching this video, you might already know this. But let's introduce these players. In the top right position we have from Team Empire. It is the red Terran player Happy. His opponent is going to be the blue Zerg player Smile, spawning in the bottom left position here. And, well, TVZ, one of the more interesting matchups to be watching, for sure, and one of the more entertaining, at least in my opinion. I mean, my favorite matchup to watch is a PVZ, because I am a Protoss player, which some of you guys might already know, but I definitely can enjoy any game of StarCraft that involves high-tension, excitement, clutch decision-making, awesome battles, and knife-edge fights. Or maybe a little bit of BM in case guys like Idra are playing, for example. But enough of that. We see Empire Happy opening up pretty standard with a barracks followed by a 12 refinery. That is to say, a refinery being built on 12 supply. Whereas Smile, he's going to be going for a hatch first. Into maybe a gas, maybe a spawning pool. We will have to see. Perfect timing on the drone, getting into the natural base right as his bank account reaches 300 minerals. Now let's see if Smile will be continuing with this with a pool or an extractor. Probably going to be a pool, meanwhile trying to do a little bit of harassment, and Happy pulling that SCV away, just 2 hits from dying. Perfect timing on that, and going to be going for a Reaper, no doubt, here, as he did build that refinery straight after the barracks. There is the Reaper being queued up. Drone damaged just enough that it cannot afford to stay, but Smile has to know, is this going to be a Reaper? And, you know, the timing for the Marine, if it were a Marine, is 3 minutes 9 seconds. Is the timing the Marine should be coming out. So Smile, just by sticking around for a little while longer and seeing the barracks working for such a long time with nothing coming out, knows this is going to be a Reaper. Luckily, he didn't go for a gas before pool. He built, actually, yeah. He built the pool and then the gas, just now saturating it, going to be going for a link speed as soon as possible, and we'll start getting those queens out. Now, until those queens are out, this Reaper will pretty much have the command of the entire inside of Smile's base, trying to kill drones if possible, but as soon as that queen pops out, it is going to get very difficult for this Reaper to kill anything, really. So far, it can only make itself useful by trying to snipe one Zergling, one drone here or there, getting some scouting information, and generally be annoying. Sometimes players do get 2 Reapers, and this is exactly what Happy is doing. With 2 Reapers, this is a little bit more dangerous here for our Zerg player, but nothing he should not be able to handle, as both of these players are really high up on the ladder. There we see the link speed started. 2 command centers being built by Happy. He did build that expansion and goes into a 3rd CC straight away, but Smile knows about that, and he will probably be expecting a factory. Now, he could try and decide to all-in his opponent at this point, because going for 2 command centers greedily like this, that's a really greedy play. Especially if Happy goes into double NG base before adding on additional racks. That's pretty much an open window inviting the Zerg player to all-in him. And since this is a really narrow choke, the Banelings are going to be doing tremendous amounts of damage if Smile had decided, or were to decide, to use Banelings in such an all-in. But no, he's going to get the lair really quickly here. Just holding on to his 2 bases for the time being. Happy continuing to scout with these Reapers. I don't know if he saw the lair being morphed. No, he did not. So he doesn't know that structure is actually mutating right now. As the Hellions do join the Reapers in the fight. And with these Hellions, with no roaches, this might be problematic here for Smile to defend, because he might just incur too many losses to be able to go on into the mid game, especially since Happy already has that third command center finished. He's got triple mules at his disposal. You see, the way this works is these Hellions pretty much support these Reapers really well. They are going to be able to kill these Lings really quickly here, as we see that Smile is just so unwilling to fight off of creep. Happy is keeping his Zerg opponent at bay. Really well done. Will he get the snipe on the Queen? Probably not, but he will get a couple more Ling kills. Very wisely, Smile is producing more Lings right now. Does not want to lose that Queen nor the drones, and as the Roach Warren is finished, he will produce 4 Roaches that will be enough to deter these Hellions from doing much of anything for the foreseeable future, and they will probably have to pull back. In turn, that will allow Smile to gradually extend the creep over to this location and take his third base. So he will even out the economy with the Terran eventually. And as the Roaches are shown, you can see that Happy is gradually pulling back. Roach is really too beefy for 4 Hellions and 1 Reaper, but I gotta hand it to him. I mean, this harassment was so worth it. If you look at the drone counts, 41 versus 34 SCVs, the income tab showing that the Terran is actually way ahead on the mineral income thanks to the triple mulage he's been doing. And behind this, he's getting ready for a possible all-in, because he wasn't willing to scan. Just now the scan is going down. With this lair, he still doesn't know if there's a third base. So this is really a wise move by Happy, getting those 2 additional bunkers to be able to stay alive and withstand any potential all-in based on Roach Ling or Roach Baneling. Looking for every opportunity to try and get those Hellions out for a scouting round, and optionally put on additional pressure onto his Zerg opponent. Third base is going up for Smile though, as well as 1-1 upgrades, but look at Happy! He already almost has his 1-1 upgrades done. He's going to have a huge amount of time later on in the game where he will have +2/+2, and then later on 3/3, and his opponent will be nowhere near those upgrades. Of course, Smile has to produce more and more Roaches as these Hellions are continuing to be a threat. And with this added infrastructure on, when the stim and combat shields are finished, I expect Happy to try and float this third base over to this location, build a wall here, and just secure that very nicely. Hellions somehow did make their way all the way across to the natural base. And let's see how many workers. 6 workers total killed by Happy so far. Interestingly enough, Happy never was the kind of player that would use Widow Mines extensively. He really preferred using tanks. Of course, this could be just because of the map he's playing on currently. And because of, there are Roaches out. Tanks are really effective versus Roaches as compared to Widow Mines, because a Widow Mine has a 40-second cooldown firing time. So the Widow Mine fires once, kills maybe 1 Roach and damages a bunch of others, and that's it. You have 40 seconds. So you need a lot more Widow Mines. They are a little bit quicker to produce, but just a little bit. And versus Mass Roach, or a good amount of Roaches, it's not going to be as effective as tanks on the high ground. And we can see right now with the tanks, they're going to be covering this entire area. Combined with Marauders, the Roaches are pretty much going to be shut down. But the Marauders, for the time being, are a little bit out of position. But look at Smile. 1 tank shot is all it takes for him to reconsider his approach and just pull back. Meanwhile, on his side of things, we have the Spire coming up and Pathogen Glands being researched. Nice animation there on the Infestation pit. This is the first time I see that, actually. Look at the glow. It's glowing rather nicely when researching stuff. Nice. Very nice there. So, Happy just going to be macroing it up for the time being. If we look at the worker counts and the army size, it is really comparable. But keep in mind, there's a lot of roaches here in the actually exclusively roaches here in the army of the Zerg player. They are not going to be as effective as the game goes on, especially with the +2/+2 about to finish up. Will or should give Happy about a 2-minute window where he can utilize a huge upgrade advantage versus his opponent. 2-2 Terran army versus 1-1 Zerg army, not going to pan out as well as one would thought. At the same time, looks like Happy is trying to go for a double-pronged attack, scanning ahead, trying to find out where the army is. Let's see if Smile is looking. Oh my god, Happy unloaded. Okay, so Smile definitely did see that medevac, and this forces an immediate retreat by the roaches, which were threatening a counter move here, but now they gotta defend the third base because that medevac is a threat. And right now Smile doesn't know where that medevac is. And look at this, immediately a greater spire. This actually makes a whole lot of sense, you know. He does have a decent number of roaches out, which means the Terran player is going to be making marauders, a little bit more than he would make marines of, which is usually the case. Some Terrans just prefer to only make marines, just like 8-to-2 ratio. And so there is going to be very little anti-air there for Happy. Really nice moves we are seeing from Smile here, but looks like Happy just going to try to deny creep spread as much as he can without actually engaging. This is just one medevac worth of units. Look at this. As soon as he sees the roaches, he knows he sniped off 2 creep terminals. He's probably going to load up. Come on, load up. Do it. Nope. He was occupied, you see, by doing a drop at the third base, but this is going to get shut down really hard with the infestors. Greater Spire is just now finished. We have a couple corruptors in the air, 6 broodlords on the way. Is Happy ready for this? Does he know? And looks like he doesn't. And that's really a shame, because even though +3/+3 attacks are going up for him, with enough infestors to lock down the infantry in place and enough broodlords, this is going to be so hard for Happy, especially since the utility those tanks provide him versus the roaches will be completely denied. When you're shelled upon by broodlings from broodlords, you don't really want those tanks sieged. You really need to unsiege them. But right now Happy knows. I think he knows about that Greater Spire right now. No, but he must have seen those broodlords with the drop. Another drop getting denied right here. All the units completely killed, but Happy establishing a very powerful position here in this choke. And right now, look at this. Exactly as I said, the broodlords starting to go and eat at the army. No anti-air for Happy. He does have 2 starports worth of production, both with reactors onto them. So 4 Vikings at a time are going to be popping out. And right now, the time is ticking here for Smile. He either has to adapt his composition a little bit, and if he doesn't, and Happy spreads his Vikings really well, then Smile is going to have a tough time taking a battle, taking an engagement against the Terran player. And Happy unrelentless relentless with the drops, dropping the third, dropping the main base, forcing Smile to pull back. Smile having a really slow army here. Those broodlords taking forever to get over there, but a couple of corruptors still in the air, both to work against the Vikings and to deny drop. Another drop in the natural base. Unfortunately, that's going to get killed off. And Happy, well, he should be taking at least 1 more base. Nice move there, Burrowed Zergling. If we look at the income, both players are really evenly matched so far in this fight. And more broodlords are being added on right now. We still have 7 infestors out on the field for Smile. That's a lot of energy. And so far, at this moment, this game can go either way, especially with banelings being added on. I mean, you cannot siege the tanks as long as you are under the fire of the broodlords. So the banelings are going to be exponentially more efficient. And really what Happy has to do here right now is abuse the immobility of the broodlord army. He can engage the roaches and the banelings for a little bit, sieging up those tanks, but as soon as the broodlords close in, he needs to unsiege, get out of there, and he's doing exactly that. Even with the number of Vikings he's got, look at what he's doing. He's bouncing from the top to the bottom, from the top to the bottom, constantly forcing those Broodlords to either reposition or not move at all. So they're just chilling in the center of the map as Happy snipes the gold expansion there. Tries to deny the other base in the lower right position here. That's not going to work so well, but Happy gradually edging his way forward, trying to find a way, trying to find an opening. Neoplanet, as remember, is a really, really small map, so it's a little bit difficult to find an opening for attack. And we even have Bane Mines over here. But this is a really smart transition. Getting Ravens, getting the Corvid reactor onto them for increased energy when the Raven spawns. And this is how Happy plans to deal with the Broodlords. He's going to launch multiple Seeker missiles onto them. I don't think this is something that Smile will be able to stop, unless his Infestor usage is really, really on the top level, which I don't doubt it is, but I feel like he will have to get a little bit lucky or be very attentive to the Ravens and snipe them off before they can get their spells off. This is not that many Broodlords. I mean, 4 Seeker missiles should be enough to take care of those, and all the time Happy is just forcing Smile to defend his currently mining bases. And he does get the Great Aspire, which means no more Broodlords, and even if this is cleaned up, which it looks like it will be, Happy's in a really good spot. This constant harassment from him already cost Smile 46 drones. And the Raven count is getting higher. In fact, 3 more. How many Ravens does Empire Happy really want here? I mean, isn't 9 a little bit of an overkill? I don't know. I'm not a Terran player, but these Ravens are going to almost have full energy by the time the engagement comes, as both players are nearing maximum population limits here. And, well, Happy's problem right now is that he's getting low on income. He does have mules, which keep this number fairly high, but he doesn't have any additional bases. He cannot take this one unless he takes care of the Zergling there. He's just now taking this base over here. He's been on 3 bases for far too long. The main base is mined out. The natural doesn't have long to go. There's only 300 and something minerals remaining on those patches. So Happy really needs another base. At least one more base, except this one here. Or on top of that one. So right now we have a big tank Raven Viking flock. There's not that many infantry units here on the field for Happy, just 22 Marines, 4 Marauders. Notice that he's cut production on Marauders, or rather adjusted the ratio of Marauders to Marines heavily here in favor of the Marines to have more of an anti-air. And another transition we are seeing from Smile. This is a really smart one. But we have an engagement here. Seeker missiles engaged. How many Broodlords will they get? It looks like, oh my god, they even explode on top of the Infestors. More and more of them going off every second here. A lot of those units have gone down, and still quite a lot of Ravens remaining. And they do have energy for more Seeker missiles. With the point defense drones, the Corruptors will be a little bit useless here. So that's why this Ultralisk transition is so good for Smile. This could allow him potentially to take out the space. Empire Happy is going in with the entire flotilla of his air units and ground army to try to defend that base, but it has already gone down. Multiple Seeker missiles being launched onto the Ultras, but not killing all of them. And we don't have very many Marauders here, because that composition on the ground has been skewed heavily to defend versus the Broodlords. Really smart transitioning from Smile here as he is getting back into the game, taking a 4th base here, 5th base, excuse me, and repopulating with Zerglings, seeing as there are almost 0 tanks, very little ground army, and he might be able to just flood and overrun his units, his enemy, with just pure ground units. Ultra Link Infestor Baneling is going to be the endgame composition for now for Smile. It looks like the upgrades are looking really cool for both players as well. 3-3 on the ground army for the Terran player, 2-2 for the Zerg, 3 on the Carapace. he can transition really nicely here, back and forward from any type of units he chooses to do. Oh, one dead Seeker Missile there as the Infestor does get out of the range, but more being launched onto the Ultralisks and will damage quite a lot of them. Nice micro balls by Smile, always pulling those targeted Ultras away so that the majority of his army doesn't get the bulk of the AoE onto their hit points, except now, but those Ultras were full health and only one Seeker Missile, so that's fine. And only a couple of those remaining. Look how low on energy those Ravens are getting, and this is so close right now. The supplies are showing 170 to 150. The only problem for Smile is that he's got a huge bank and not enough larva to spend it. I mean, or maybe he's just not spending it fast enough. 11 larva, 5 more Ultralisks being queued up. How big is the ground army for Happy? This is going to be absolutely crucial. Only 3 tanks, 10 marauders, 17 marines. Problem is, we have very small, very low infestor count here for the Zerg player, and this is kind of starting to bite him in the ass, so to speak. Because without the ability to lock the ground army in place, those Ultras are kiteable off creep, and Smile is not able to prevent that. Happy, on the other hand, is well entrenched here, and even though he may have lost this base, look, he's got more orbitals here. He can just rely on mules for a little while, but oh, such good moves we are seeing from Smile here. He knows he has to limit the economy of his opponent. He knows if he knocks out this base, at least moderately cost efficiently, that's going to provide him with a decent advantage, but he should be pulling back right now. He should not be engaging here. Boom, 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 go the Seeker Missiles. Infestors making a late showing to the engagement. And, well, the Ultras do stay alive for the time being. Nice scan there, picking up that Infestor with that Seeker Missile, denying the denial, so to speak. And more Ravens being produced by Happy. He's just non-stop producing Ravens. He's just, I'm going to overrun you with guided missiles. That is his strategy here, and I have to say that only producing Ultralisks, I don't know if this is the right choice here at this point in time for Smile, but on the other hand, what else can he do? So many Ravens out in the sky. This reminds me of the early days of beta when TLO was trolling everybody with mass Raven strats. Look at this! The Ravens alone are able to kill off the entirely exclusive Ultralisk army. What are we seeing here? And Happy down to only 35 SCVs, still maintaining a decent mineral income thanks to the mules, and Smile, he's getting mined out everywhere. And I don't think Happy will allow him to take neither of these two bases, so pretty much Happy, he wants to take out this base while keeping this one and this one alive, if at all possible. Whereas Smile is trying to do the same thing. He needs to take out either this base or this base, optimally both of them at this time. Because if he doesn't, look at this, almost 200 for Happy and only 120 for Smile. Smile has nowhere to mine. His bank is really low as he continues to produce units. He's running out of money, and therefore he is running out of time, as Happy is just pushing forward with a mass caster army, mass Ravens in the sky, and Seeker Missiles everywhere. All the Ultras targeted down, all the Ultras red. Good splits on the Zerglings, but not gonna be enough. Look at this, all the Ultras going down just to the Spellcasters and a couple Marauders. Very interesting play there by Happy. Even though some of those drones kind of go dead because, you know, micro. Oh, good fungal there by Smile, but that's not going to stop Happy from taking out yet another hatchery. And Smile doesn't know where to run with his army right now, as both his main territory, natural and main, are under assault, as well as this location here. And Happy, he's still retaining these two bases as for as long as he has those. He cannot lose, ever. Like, he can't. Couple auto turrets there, trying to bring down the infestation pit. And, well, Smile doesn't have a lot to go on here. As Empire Happy does clear this base, and, well, Smile will have to sacrifice his only mining base at this point in time. Because there is very, very little minerals remaining here. And when this base goes down, I really expect a GG, because... oh my goodness, I don't even know if Smile will be able to take this base down. Probably will, but what good will it do him? He's not mining almost anything, and his army is really small. The army supply showing 133 versus 40 in favor of the Terran player. Happy is really riding on the top of the wave. He's really surfing the ocean of StarCraft 2 right now. He's all over the place with these Ravens, auto turrets, denying everything, taking the central gold base for himself, saying, no, this is my stake here, my claim, this is my Alaska. And he's gonna be getting all the money from there. Right now, this looks like to be the final confrontation between these two players. Last of the seeker missiles we are seeing here, ladies and gentlemen. And when this army is killed off, Smile will have to GG promptly. More scans going off somewhere. And, well, Smile, I can hear the countdown. If this were a boxing match, then probably we would hear 10, 9, 8, 7, etc, etc, etc. Because really Smile doesn't have... he cannot do anything at this point with this army. I mean, this game is a fucking joke. Idra, GG, good luck. Smile really disheartened there with how the game went, but I have to say he was totally outplayed by Happy. I mean, for a while it looked like Smile could make something happen there, but in the end, Happy was just too smart for him. Just too smart. No other way to put it. So guys, hope you enjoyed. If you did, then please like the video or even share it. And if you have any comments regarding my casting, please post them into the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. And just on a side note, no, English is not my first language. I think it's kind of apparent, right? So that's why sometimes there are hiccups of various kinds in the cast, but I'm doing my best. Until next time, and good luck, have fun, stay safe, and remember to storm first and ask questions later.